Date syrup, a natural sweetener derived from dates, is often considered a healthier alternative to refined sugar due to its nutritional content and natural origins. However, when it comes to diabetes management, the key concern revolves around how its consumption impacts blood sugar levels. This brings us to an important question. Is date syrup dangerous for diabetics? But before we continue, if you appreciate all the information and the research that goes into making a video like this, it does help out tremendously if you hit the like button and hit subscribe. Thank you, and let's begin. Firstly, let's understand what diabetes is. Diabetes is a chronic condition that affects how the body processes blood sugar or glucose. In people with diabetes, either the body does not produce enough insulin or it cannot use the insulin effectively, leading to high levels of glucose in the blood. Managing blood sugar levels is crucial in controlling the condition and preventing complications. Now, delving into date syrup. Made by extracting and reducing the juice of dates, this syrup retains some of the nutritional qualities of its source fruit. Dates are rich in vitamins, minerals, and fiber. However, they are also high in natural sugars. While natural sugars are often considered healthier than refined sugars, they can still affect blood sugar levels, which is a vital consideration for people with diabetes. The impact of date syrup on blood sugar levels can be understood through the glycemic index, or GI, a scale that ranks foods based on how quickly they raise blood sugar levels. Foods with a high GI are absorbed quickly, causing a rapid spike in blood sugar, while low GI foods are absorbed more slowly, resulting in a gradual increase. The GI of date syrup can vary, but it's generally considered to have a moderate to high GI. This means that it can potentially cause a quicker rise in blood sugar levels compared to low GI foods. However, it's important to note that the GI isn't the only factor to consider. The glycemic load, or GL, of a food also plays a crucial role. GL considers the GI along with the amount of carbohydrate in a serving of the food. A food can have a high GI but a low GL if it contains only a small amount of carbohydrate per serving. In the case of date syrup, while the GI might be moderate to high, the GL would depend on the serving size used. Research on date syrup specifically in the context of diabetes is somewhat limited, but studies on dates can offer some insights. A study published in the journal Nutrition concluded that while dates have a high GI, their high fiber content might help to mitigate their impact on blood sugar levels. The fiber in dates, and thus potentially in date syrup, can slow down carbohydrate absorption, preventing rapid spikes in blood sugar. Another aspect to consider is the nutrient density of date syrup. Unlike refined sugar, date syrup contains minerals like potassium, magnesium, and iron, and vitamins like vitamin B6. It also contains antioxidants, which have various health benefits. While these nutrients don't negate the sugar content, they do make date syrup a more nutritionally rich choice compared to refined sugar. However, moderation is key, especially for people with diabetes. Consuming large amounts of date syrup can lead to increased blood sugar levels, which can be dangerous for diabetics. It's crucial to monitor blood sugar levels and consider the amount of date syrup being consumed as part of the overall carbohydrate intake for the day. Date syrup can be used in various ways, as a sweetener in beverages, for baking, or as a topping for foods like yogurt and oatmeal. But when using date syrup, it's advisable to balance it with low GI foods and incorporate it into a meal rather than consuming it alone. This can help to slow the absorption of sugar and mitigate blood sugar spikes. Moreover, the individual response to date syrup can vary significantly among people with diabetes. Factors such as the type of diabetes, the level of insulin resistance, medications, and overall diet can influence how someone's blood sugar levels respond to consuming date syrup. For those considering including date syrup in their diet, it's important to do so under the guidance of a healthcare provider or a registered dietitian. They can provide personalized advice based on an individual's specific health needs and diabetes management plan. When considering date syrup as a part of a diabetic diet, it's essential to dive deeper into how the body processes the sugars present in it. The main sugars in date syrup are fructose, glucose, and sucrose. Fructose, unlike glucose, does not cause a sudden increase in blood sugar levels as it is metabolized differently in the body. However, this doesn't mean it's entirely safe for diabetics. Excessive fructose consumption, especially from processed foods, is associated with insulin resistance and obesity, exacerbating diabetes complications. Date syrup, being a natural source, is less of a concern than high fructose corn syrup found in many processed foods, but the quantity consumed still matters. Additionally, the concept of combining foods for better glycemic control becomes relevant here. When date syrup is consumed along with foods high in protein, fiber, or healthy fats, the overall glycemic impact can be lessened. For instance, using a small amount of date syrup to sweeten a bowl of Greek yogurt with nuts can create a more balanced effect on blood sugar levels than consuming the syrup alone. The proteins and fats slow down the digestion and absorption of sugars, providing a more gradual rise in blood sugar. The role of dietary fiber in managing diabetes cannot be overstressed, and this is another area where date syrup might have an advantage over refined sugars. The natural fiber in dates may help to moderate blood sugar levels when consumed in small amounts. Fiber slows down carbohydrate absorption and digestion, preventing the rapid spikes in blood sugar that can occur after eating simple sugars. However, the fiber content in date syrup is considerably lower than in whole dates, so while it's better than refined sugar, it's still not a high-fiber food. Another point to consider is individual variation in blood sugar response. Each person with diabetes has a unique response to different foods, influenced by factors such as medication, meal composition, and overall metabolic health. For some, a small amount of date syrup might not cause significant blood sugar spikes, while for others, it could be more problematic. Continuous glucose monitoring or regular blood sugar testing can help determine how date syrup affects an individual's blood sugar levels. Moreover, the overall lifestyle and dietary pattern play a significant role in diabetes management. Regular physical activity, adequate sleep, stress management, and a diet predominantly consisting of whole, unprocessed foods contribute significantly to blood sugar control and general health. Including date syrup should be considered within this broader lifestyle context. A physically active individual who follows a balanced diet rich in whole foods might incorporate date syrup differently than someone with a sedentary lifestyle and a diet high in processed foods. Furthermore, the psychological aspect of food choices in diabetes management should not be underestimated. Deprivation and strict dietary restrictions can lead to a negative relationship with food, which is counterproductive in the long term. Allowing small indulgences, such as a bit of date syrup in a healthy recipe, can make a dietary plan more sustainable and enjoyable. The goal should be to create a balanced and sustainable approach to eating that can be maintained over the long term, rather than a restrictive diet that feels burdensome. In conclusion, date syrup, while a more nutritious alternative to refined sugar, still contains natural sugars that can affect blood sugar levels. It's not inherently dangerous for diabetics, but it should be consumed in moderation, keeping in mind its GI and GL, and factoring it into the total carbohydrate intake for the day. As part of a balanced diet, date syrup can be included in a diabetes meal plan, provided its consumption is carefully monitored and adjusted based on individual responses. Ultimately, managing diabetes effectively involves a comprehensive approach, considering all aspects of diet and lifestyle, and date syrup can be a part of this approach if used judiciously.